Welcome once again to Moon Speedway for the second annual All-Out American Classic, where 3 American brands will go all out for 35 laps for a regular feature event race. A very warm summer-like day here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A bit of a breeze though, which will help these motors run better, the cars will cool down, and we should have some great racing on tap. Time for the feature event in the All-Out American Classic. After an epic battle in the heat race, a little bit of a feud is brewing between Steve Brown and Chad Lindberner, as Brown pushed Chad right up into the wall, coming to the checkered flag. The cooler temperatures are moving in and we're trying to beat the rain, so get ready for some rough and ready racing. 3, 2, 1, go.
And they go all out towards turn number 1, and Bill Steinbach almost out through a penalty coming out of 2. Him and Chad got together. He'll be able to gather it up and continue on in 3rd place. Steve Brown is up front, Chad Lindberner is in 2nd, and Bill Steinbach riding in 3rd place right now. Steve into the cone in turn 3, he'll lose some ground. Lindberner gets loose out of 4, comes up into the wall, and Steinbach barrel rolls in turn 3 on lap 4 for today's first caution flag. Let's check out an instant replay. You can see going into 3 up on the high side, he got up into that crack in the speedway that simply turned that Chevelle right over.
Now you have to cut in on that turn like you saw Brown did. Obviously Brown didn't regain his bearings when he hit the cone, but that's what you have to do to avoid that crack.
Green flag is back out on lap 5, and we have a double penalty. Steve Brown and Chad Lindberner got together going towards turn number 1. Got themselves a double penalty. Bill Steinbach pulling up to the restart line, them waiting at the start-finish line. There's the countdown, and the green flag is back out as Bill Steinbach goes through the center line. He will back up and lose a lot of that lead he just gained from that penalty.
Yeah, there's quite a battle here for second as Brown's trying to cut on the inside, and he just hooks Lindberner, takes him out, and they both go through the center line. Brown can't stop himself. Steinbach has a similar incident, and that will not allow him to gain any ground and try to put these two a lap down. But as I say, that Lindberner has a lot of trouble and does go a lap down to the Chevrolet.
Bill Steinbach squirrely out of 2. Steve Brown up front on lap 10. Bill Steinbach with an issue in turn 4. Steve Brown spins out over in 3, and he'll get hit in the door. Bill Steinbach with a nice slide into the corner. No caution, though.
Lindberner making his lap up here as we see Steinbach just fishtailing, and Brown having an incident in turn number 3. Oh, they'll go around and hit the cone again. Just some terrible driving on these last few laps here by the Mustang and the Chevelle.
Bill Steinbach got into the Goodyear tire right at the start-finish line, waving a caution flag on lap 13. Here's an instant replay of lap 11. Turn 3. Steve Brown barrel rolling upside down. The car lands facing the wrong direction. He'll back up and pull on to go continue leading.
Yeah, they keep going with the lap. Very a liberal call by the officials, if I must say. And then we see Lindberner here having an incident just after the restart in the red Chevelle also, as we see the Mustang rocketing to the front. Look how fast that car is moving on this lap as we see it bounce going into turn 3.
Steinbach in 3rd place and into the concrete retaining wall on lap 16, waving another yellow flag on the day.
Chad Lindberner driving through that rut to get to the restart line. He'll have the middle lane, and Steinbach will be taken out, but he'll regain the lead for a short time in turn 2, and then he'll lose it again to Brown in turn number 3. Oh, and look at Lindberner. His wheels get stuck to the left, and he'll have another penalty on the day. That's a second for him. Now talk about the problems he's been having with his car here, cutting to the left. What's the deal with that?
His left front wheel has actually come off of the suspension. The bolt that holds it on cracked from the tough racing these guys endure during the race. And now it occasionally pops off when you see his car just hook left like it did there in turn 4. And the green flag is back out. Steve Brown leading.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times these past few races. Just amazing. And look at this drafting coming out of 2 here between the red and black cars. Here's lap 20. Brown is still leading, and Steinbach has a lot of trouble hitting the Moon Speedway lettering and disabling his car. He's almost a lap down himself.
Big wreck over in turn 3, but we're still within that 5-lap window because of a penalty. Steve Brown is still hanging on to the lead in this race. Quite a lead over Bill Steinbach and then Chad Lindberner back in 3rd place. Steinbach cuts through the center. He'll have to back up to keep going. Trying to get into the back of Steve Brown. He'll get him loose, drive him up the hill, and he'll hold on. Lap 25.
Now Steinbach is a lap down while Limburner's 2 laps down here.
Both of them hoping they get a caution flag to gain their ground back up to Steve Brown. So his car is just on fire today. Look at this car down the back straightaway up off the corner, how fast he is. Cool shot today. And then Steve Brown, so fast, he's upside down, along with Bill Steinbach in turn 2. Opposite flips at the opposite end of the track.
Track maintenance team goes out to clean up some stuff. Thankfully, Brown there flipped, or that would have been a penalty for Steinbach, the 3rd penalty of the day. But like I said, Brown flipped ahead of time there in turn 4, and we zoomed in on that wreck for you. Steinbach here getting his car ready. Track maintenance team is back off the track, and we're ready to go racing again. Look at Limburner's antenna just facing backwards there.
Bill being told to hurry up by the officials. Taking too long to do quick maintenance to that car. Looks like he's tying the antenna so it doesn't collapse.
Yeah, a lot of frequency issues there with Steinbach's new car and his new chassis, even with the Mustang. There's been a lot of problems there, especially when it's hot outside. Obviously, it's cooled off today, but he did hit that lettering, the turn 1 wall, and we saw his car die there. Could have something to do with it. Maybe the undercarriage of the car kind of pulled the antenna out of the roof line there. We don't know.
Steve in the bottom lane, Chad in the middle lane. Bill's going to squeeze underneath Steve Brown to get the lead up towards turn 1, and he'll take a serious wreck. Chad is now leading the race, a fight for second between Ford and Chevy. Ford spins out Steve Brown around in turn 4, and that'll bring out another caution flag on lap 30.
A lot of cautions here late, none early because of those 2 penalties we had.
Steinbach rocketing around, and he'll spin out Steve Brown. They're going to deem that one illegal on Steinbach's part for reckless driving. Getting ready for the restart attempt. There it is. Green flag is back out. Steinbach on the outside out of 2. 3 wide down the back straightaway. We're trading paint into 3. Steinbach spinning out, though, in turn 4. Another yellow flag.
All right, look at this instant replay. Look at how we see Steinbach and Limburner going wide on each respective end of the track, and then Steinbach just can't hold on. He spins out. Brown cuts through the center, and his car looks amazing today, and we saw it there. Here's a restart, and Brown will rocket right to the front, as we said. 2 wide between Steinbach and Brown. They'll trade paint in 3 and 4, and then they'll trade paint with the wall in 1.
Down the back straightaway, they both get collected into the turn.
Oh, and that lets Limburner take the lead.
Trying to get back up to the back of Chad Limburner to regain the lead. Steve's trying to make something happen on the inside line. He'll pass Chad Limburner for the lead spot. Chad spins out, gets hit by Bill Steinbach. Steve will come off, and he'll go into turn 3, crashing. Chad just receives the white flag as Steve takes the checkered. Bill trying to get second place. He will come around for that spot, and then Chad Limburner gets 3rd in the All-Out American Classic 400.
Wow, what a disappointing day there for the Plymouth boys. Incredible. He was leading with 3 laps to go, had an incident in turn 1 that had him lose first place. Then his car was sort of disoriented going into 3 there, hit the tire wall again, and he was almost a lap down by the end of that race. This puts Brown in the sole position to take the lead from Steinbach here.
It just goes to show that because you're in the lead, it doesn't mean you're safe. And the next time you see us here on the Three Rivers RC Racing channel, we'll be bringing you the RC News TV 750 from Moon Speedway. So get ready for some rough and ready racing.